What's up, baby?
What's up, baby boy? How you doing?
It's your boy, Skinny Penis.
Back in the building.
Yeah.
I am apparently a thick boy. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking Cali Squeeze Extra Lemon Chill.
Nice.
I know the lighting isn't that great, but
Oh, okay. So is that a new one?
relatively new, yeah. It comes once in a while every blue moon
Uh,
at our shop, and they're basically tall boys of high gravity, lemon flavored Hefeweizen.
what does high gravity mean? Is that like the ball thing or no?
High
That's
gravity
nitro.
means like increased malt, so it increases the alcohol percentage.
Oh, so it's just a little heavier. Okay, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. It's
How's I guess your sober week has been going pretty well.
as soon as I get back to work, they're like, "Oh, you forgot your holiday beer because it was Thanksgiving." I'm like, "Oh shit, what I get?" And lo and behold, it's two 12 packs of 805 and a 12 pack of this lemon chill stuff.
Holy shit, man! They give you 36 beers upon arrival. That's almost as
Yeah,
much as I have in my fridge, dude. Right now, that's crazy.
yeah, it was all free too. Like that's
Yeah,
insane.
that's the
Yeah.
problem with it, man. That's the hard part. It's accessible. You got back to work on Wednesday?
Yeah. I got back to work on Wednesday, and it pays to be in the beer industry. Like, fuck me.
Hey, we're recording, aren't we?
Yeah, we're recording. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 9 to 5, boys. I've been a little better about my sober week. I've only had 2 beers this week, so
Oh, there
all
you
things
go.
considered, it's not awful. So what I was trying to do is the funniest goddamn thing. So like as soon as Eric and I were just in the UK. It's a great time. We had a blast. We had a lot of drinking. So we were, we were promising each other when we land, we're gonna try to keep this week clean. I'm certain that you probably did that Monday and Tuesday and Saturday and Sunday. I'm sure.
Yeah. I might have had
Right.
like one beer in between that period, but then everything else has just been like, oh, back to normal. So like,
That's yeah. One beer is fine. So like what I was trying to do to help myself, right? So like, if it was what was the funniest thing? So like we land right, and then once I drop you off here, we part ways, and then I get over to my friend Jack's place, and as soon as I walk in the door, he's got an open beer for me, and I'm like, well, I can't say no. He doesn't offer very much. It would feel rude. So like
yeah.
I was just like, whatever. But then, I've been having beer, but I've been having non-alcoholic versions. So actually, there's this brand I've discovered at this bar that we're going to tonight called Old Milwaukee, which is a non-alcoholic brand, which is pretty good. It's well, non-alcoholic beer, right? It's like regular beer, but without the zing, which is a little weird. So like I've also been having some 0% Heinekens, which actually those are like superior. The bottles are the best. I got a couple of the cans, but like the bottles are best. So like I had only one beer the Saturday we came back, and then like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday I was good, and then Wednesday was like Vinylite, and we were thinking it was gonna be the last Vinylite. Apparently, viewers, S27 is gonna stay open, so definitely check them out. Help support the business, help keep them alive. So it was not gonna be the last night, but I was like, well, first I asked if they had any non-alcoholic options on tap, and they didn't. So I was like, well, okay. No, so I guess I've had 3 beers this week. Yeah. So because I had one beer at S27 because they didn't have any non-alcoholic options, and then last night we go out to a brewery, me and my friends, before we go to a bar. And so the brewery, I asked if they had anything, and they had like kombucha and seltzer, and I was like, I don't really feel like that. So I got and it's a brewery I don't go to often, so I was like, well, I'll just have a 10-ounce pour. It'll be small and fine. So all things considered, I've been doing pretty good this week, and I had non-alcoholic beverages the rest of the night. Last night, I'm going to continue that tonight. So, um, it's just easily accessible, but it's been good. It's been manageable.
Well, it doesn't help that you're like, you have like an interesting job for starters, and then also you're a very popular guy. Like you have a very active social life.
I do,
Usually
and
revolves around drinking or going to music shows.
right. It's like it. We're at bars, right? And like even the bartender last night was like, "Why are you not drinking?" I was like, "Because I'm usually having like a couple."
Yeah,
But so it is very challenging, right? It is like we go to these events and alcohol is kind of everywhere, and then especially the people I go out with, we often just go out to bars or to breweries or whatever it may be, right? And so it's always just around alcohol, and so like
yeah.
it's just and I'm thankful for when they have the option to not to have non-alcoholic options. So like tonight I'm going to keep that keep that going. I may start drinking tomorrow night, but um, maybe we'll see. I might take an extra day off just because I've had 3 drinks this week, which isn't bad. But like we had a bender week in the UK, so the UK was fun. So we the flight we flew out Friday, which was not. It was the Friday before Thanksgiving, and it was. I mean, the flights are 10 hours long and cramped and hard to sleep on. I think I'm gonna go the extra mile next time and not get economy. I'm really sick of it. Tiny ass seats. We're both big ass boys.
Yeah, yeah,
We we need more space. Like you were having trouble in the aisle each time. It just
yeah.
sucks. And like flying in general, just even if we did upgrade, it would still suck because it's a flight. And like I just don't like flying. I don't like the stress of going through security and like doing all that shit. But then so we touched down Saturday morning, and so that first day, what did we get up to? So we went to our hotel to drop our stuff off. We couldn't check in till later. That's usually how hotels work. But we hung about. We walked around London, explored around there a little bit. Went to an actual British pub for the first time, which was cool. And
Yeah.
got to sit down and have an English beer. They serve it sometimes room temperature over there, and I don't fuck with that. It's not that. Doesn't feel that good.
No, they kind of do the same thing in Germany too. Like they even have like a beer called Keller beer, which is literally like you drink it as soon as it's made from the cellar. So like they bring it on up, keg and all, and then you just immediately start sipping on it.
And it's a warm keg, I'm sure, right? So it's like
Yeah, yeah.
anyway. That's neither here nor there. The beer was good otherwise. That Doom bar you guys had was really good. That was a good brand.
I think that was probably my favorite band, aside from Singha, obviously.
Singha, I literally bought it as soon as I think it was like Saturday or Sunday. I went out and bought a pack of Singha. I
So,
haven't drank it yet, of course. I've been good about that.
right. So they sell it at Bevmo, I take it, right?
They sell them in Venmo, so you got to look at
Okay.
they have an Asia section apparently for like Sapporo, and they have also um what was it called, Acai?
Asahi, yeah, yeah.
Asahi, yeah. Asahi, yeah. That's a good beer too. So anyway, so we were out
Yeah.
there. That Saturday we after the pub. Oh, we all wanted to go back to the hotel because the guys wanted to shower and kind of. But you were also getting like tired. You were up for a long time.
Yeah, I think we did the math and I was up for like 26 hours, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
didn't sleep on the flight, which I get. I had trouble trying to do that too. I was trying to sleep as much as I could so I could readjust to the time change, and I think that worked out for me
Yeah.
for the most part. I think I was jet lagged this week until Tuesday. Today's Thursday. We're recording, so I thankfully got over that. But so maybe Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, because I was clocking out early these couple nights, but yeah. Last night I came home late, so I'm definitely over it. But
But I'll tell you what though, between the two flights to England and then the one back, I didn't sleep on any of them, but I did make use of that time and watched 5 new movies I haven't seen before, so
that is true. You did watch a lot of movies.
I did.
I watched a new movie on the flight back. I watched Past Lives, which that was sick. But anyway, so let's see. So we'd all clocked out at like two. I think it was like from 2 to 4. It was a series of collective naps we all took, and then we all kind of slept together for a little bit. We're not like in the same beds. Well, I slept in the same bed with Chris, but you and Austin were on the floor for some reason.
Well, it's because you guys took the beds. I didn't want to like
We
take the
took the
bed and
one
get.
bed. We took just one. Chris and I were sharing one, and then you guys could have had Austin's. But anyway, so
Yeah, I'm not.
that
I'm not trying to fuck my boy Austin because I don't know if he's into that though.
that's real. But
Yeah.
like we then checked in the hotel. You were able to go up to our room and sleep, and then the rest of the evening. So actually, we had kind of Chris, Austin, and I had an eventful evening. So we were all trying to the whole group and us, Eric, Linda, and Lisa as well. We were all trying to go out to dinner, and all the pubs were full because it was dinner rush, and it's London. It's a Saturday night. It was a Saturday night, so like it's busy. So we were like, okay, let's like there's a steak and chip shop we could get some takeaway from. They call takeout takeaway there for our U.S. Viewers slash listeners. Um, there was a lot of different. They call an elevator a lift, which kind of makes sense.
They call the first floor of any building the lobby, and then they call the
Like
second
ground
floor the
floor,
first
yeah,
floor. So yeah.
yeah, they count it that way, which is kind of interesting.
I mean, it makes more sense. I mean,
I guess it would. I mean, Yeah, because it is the lobby. Particularly, it's always just the lobby on the ground floor anyway. Um,
Yeah.
they don't have the word cabbie out there. I tried to say a taxi cab, and they were like, "You mean a taxi?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, a taxi." So anyway, um, which I think, by the way, all those calls I made cost me like $4 extra on my bill this month. But that's only $4. It's like whatever.
Yeah.
So so we so we were trying to go get steak and chips takeaway, steak and fries for Americans. So and we we were walking over, and then they were closed. And so we're like, okay, let's like go find another place. I had to really pee, so luckily we had looped around and walked past the hotel. So I was like, okay, let me just run in there and run upstairs and do that. I did that, and then we went to go get fish and chips, which those were pretty good. They were like pretty quick. They had really good curry for those chips.
Nice.
But so that was, but it took us an hour. We were walking around London for an hour trying to figure out where to eat. Uh, but it worked out. And then let's see. Then that Monday, no, that Sunday. I mean, that Sunday was the Borough Market. The Borough Market, for those who don't know, is a big market they have. It's open every day of the week except Mondays, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so it's like different shops. It's like a farmers market pretty much, which is really cool. We got some cool shit, and we got to get some cool cider that was pretty good, and we got the best fish and chips I had on the whole trip. It was this place called Fish. It's like fish with an exclamation point.
So
Um,
it's fish.
it's fish, and
Fish.
it was award winning apparently, which is super cool, and it deserves it because damn, those were good. Now mushy peas is a dish or a side, I guess, that I don't really. I'm not. I like I could take it or leave it. I'm pretty neutral about it. I think overall, like the flavor's there. The texture is just odd. It takes a bit of getting used to, but I'm sure if I had it more often, I'd get used to it. And then every mushy peas is made differently. Every single mushy peas I had was different. Which whatever.
See, I
So
kind of regret not getting the fish and chips there because I ended up getting the fish pie because I was like, it sounds tasty. And also, for anyone out there who knows this, uh, during the Jack the Ripper killings, the fifth and final victim ate fish pie before she died.
because it wasn't like fully digested, right?
Yeah, it wasn't fully digested. Yeah.
Crazy. But well, that's an interesting reason to eat it because of a serial killer. But
I mean, when you're in England, I mean, Jack the Ripper, like that's a famous figure for terrible reasons. But yeah,
he did roam the streets of London.
yeah.
No, it looked good when you were eating. I mean, it was fish and cheese.
You know, it was fish, cheese, and mashed potatoes. And it was fucking phenomenal. It was so good.
Wow,
Yeah.
that sounds like a KFC. What do they call them? The bowls? What do they
Oh
have?
yeah, the fucking what is
Not
it?
the Phillips.
$5 fill-ups. That's what they call them.
It's a
Yeah.
$5 Phillips. Okay, that's what it's called.
No, that fish
Yeah,
pie. It was tasty. I could have literally died a happy man.
no, for sure. It
Yeah.
was great. And then that later that evening, we went to the Shard. So the Shard is supposed to be like one of the tallest buildings. I think it is the tallest building in London, right?
I think it is. Yeah. Yeah. Because
It's like 72 stories up.
yeah, there's no other view like it. It's actually insane.
It was even like higher than the London Eye. It was pretty huge, and it was really cool. They had like an observation deck that was open, so it was really cold up there and a little foggy. But
Yeah, so
still
how
really,
that works, viewers, is basically they had like each corner of that first floor. There's like a cutout section at the top, so it's actually exposed like skyline that's like blowing air, from all the wicked and wild winds from being that high.
the cold winds. Yeah, it's actually
Yeah,
pretty. Yeah, and then you feel your ears like you feel the air pressure change
yeah.
when you come up the elevator. It's crazy.
So that
So
glass is like 11, 12 feet between you and 75 stories down. So yeah,
yeah, well, don't that's if you're scared of heights, don't go. I mean, our
yeah.
friend Austin powered through it, but so. Um, But it was really cool. It was lovely. We had a couple drinks up there. Then we went to dinner to that place, the Oblix, which was like really fancy and like it was like a really fine dining experience that like I'd
Yeah.
only do like once a year. But no, it was
Yeah.
super cool. And then we,
Viewers, the fucking Obelix was amazing. The bill is high, but the Obelix is amazing. It's so fucking good. The food there. Oh my
yeah,
god.
and then it had like the theater to it. They would show it. They had like the seafood platter had like fucking liquid nitrogen in it, so they just pour some water on it. It's all foggy and stuff.
Yeah.
Super cool.
I kind of regret not getting the Born a Star cocktail because the way they present that shit is they literally put it in a box and put like fog in the box. So when you open the door and get your drink, it just pours out fog like you're at like a Vogue like fashion show or some shit. Like it's actually surreal.
That one looked pretty crazy.
Yeah. It was $24 fucking dollars for that drink, but it'd be kind of worth it for that theater.
Yeah, for that presentation. So, so that was cool. And then Monday we spent all day pretty much in the British Museum. We were like there for like 6 hours. We did like an hour lunch for break for lunch, I should say, hour break for lunch. But
Indeed, and the pizza there was actually surprisingly good. I gotta hand it to the Brits; they actually can make a decent pizza.
Yeah, they did a good job. I liked the. We both got the Diavolo. Yeah, that was a good one.
No, the Diavola. That's what it was.
Diavola.
Yeah.
Thank you. Uh, and we checked out all the exhibits. So we were like just finishing up China as like the place was closing. So it was like, oh shit. But we checked out every single exhibit. It was a lot of walking, which was super cool. And then we had British McDonald's out there, which is like far superior to American McDonald's. But like that's because of like a lot of the regulations and stuff. So
basically they have like a hard cap on how much like artificial like stuff you can put into your food and drink. So everything tasted better there. The McDonald's, the Taco Bell, the Red Bull, the Monster, everything tasted so much better.
Yeah, it was good. I didn't really notice the difference with the Red Bulls or the Monster, but
I don't know. It didn't make me tired. That's the thing. Like American Red Bull and Monster like tends to make me more tired than awake.
Maybe there's something in there. So
yeah.
I will say I had Taco Bell tonight for the first time since being back, and it's not as gas as British Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm.
But so that was Monday. So we spent all day at the British Museum, and then Tuesday we took a transfer to Canterbury. We took like a pre-booked sort of taxi, like a transport to get us over to Canterbury, and that's about an hour and a half outside of London. It's I think to the east and south a bit, southeast.
Yeah, but it's a cute little English town. Like if you want good English town like experience, Canterbury's the way to go.
It's really calm too. It's nice. It's like really chill, and there's a lot to do actually in Canterbury.
People are friendly there. It's awesome.
People are very the locals. I had the London locals. I mean, London's the thing about London is like it's a big city, and like so it's like anything like San Francisco. Well, I've never been to New York City, but I have a friend who's from there, and he talks about it a lot, and I kind of get the vibe. And it's
London is basically New York City, but with San Francisco weather.
Yeah, London's cool, and there's cool stuff to check out. And like I would probably go visit there for like a day just to check out the Soho since we missed that. But like I wouldn't. After you've checked out everything you need to, you don't really need to go back to London. It's a big city, so it's very hustle bustle. It's very loud. People, with big cities, people just don't say hi to you. So like, I didn't really feel as welcomed by locals there. But then like you go to Canterbury or like Sandwich, and those places are really nice. People are really chill there. And so we went to Canterbury, and the place we were hanging out at most was the Miller's Arms, dude. That's a good ass bar, or good ass pub, I should say. With a super nice bartender. Didn't catch his name. But that's where they also had Singha on tap. Singha is a Thai lager, which is really good and especially good on tap. I've had it at the bottle here in the States, but best on tap. But
yeah, funny enough, I think that's what you and Austin were drinking more than like any of the local stuff.
Yeah, I was on that hype. And so
it's hard to beat Singha. I mean, shit.
I had a Guinness though. I had 2 Guinnesses.
There we go.
Yeah, two Guinness, and those were really good. And I had this like Jamaican lager called Red Stripe, which is pretty good. At the the Dolphin? The Dolphin.
Yeah. I've had Red Stripe in the States. It's not bad. It's pretty good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw Red Stripe at Bevmo. I was like, okay, sweet. I had that one. It's it's good. And then yeah, let's see. So we just kind of explored Canterbury a little bit. I think I did most of my souvenir shopping on that Tuesday, or all of it maybe even. Because then Wednesday we were in Sandwich because we took a taxi out to Sandwich, spent the whole day there except until like 3:30 or something because everything was closing. It was like Sandwich is like Geisha Central. There's like I was the youngest person there for the day.
Yeah.
Um, but they have a really cool. So they have a guild hall, which is like used to be an old courtroom and stuff, and a courthouse. Um, and it's like been around for like hundreds of years, which is like cool. There's a lot of history out in England too, like, and they
Yeah.
kind of preserve a lot of that, which is cool and nice to see. And so anyway, and then there was the St. Peter's Church, which we got to climb the bell tower, and we got to see the whole of Sandwich from one view, and like you look to the east and you see France. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, Super cool. And so that was like really nice. And then let's see. What else did we do that day? We went to the Crispin Inn, which has been around since
1490. Yeah.
1491 or 14, I think 1491 maybe.
Yeah, I don't want to get too exact, so I'm just gonna say 1490. So
Yeah,
yeah.
something like that. Something like that. Like it was before Columbus, pillaged a bunch of natives. So
Yeah. But he was still fucking around in other parts of the world, so yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think so. Yeah. Anyway, so that was really cool. I had the best rum and coke in my life, dude.
I mean, it is a good thing to, enjoy. Yeah.
it was literally the best I like nothing compares. I was like, it was mixed well. The coke is flavorful, and they use like actual cane sugar.
Yeah. No, because it's
which
hard
is
to fucking do. Like I've tried my hand at rum and coke before, and it just gets drowned out by that sugary sweetness. Like it's really difficult to do.
it had a good balance, man, and it was
Yeah.
nice. And and especially like depending on the rum you have, you don't really need the sweetness. You could do like a diet coke or a Coke Zero actually works really well.
You know what it probably was? It was probably like a shot and a half of like Bacardi, like a half shot of Captain Morgan spiced rum, and then like the rest was Coke.
Maybe I felt it was. I thought I tasted Malibu in there as a coconut rum, but anyway.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about Captain Morgan spiced rum. It adds just enough sweetness that it actually like still preserves the strong like flavor of rum, but like uh doesn't make it feel too overwhelming.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was good, man, and it was the best one I've ever had, and the food was pretty good too. I had like a spinach curry because I was like I need to get a vegetable in this trip, because I was just eating fish and chips and breakfast we'd have like croissant and eggs and their form of bacon,
Yeah.
or I like the sausage better. That was really good.
Yeah, their sausages are good. What was it?
And just
There was one place that we ate at. I had like this chicken curry, or no, chicken schnitzel,
Schnitzel.
yeah.
That
And
was the Crispin Inn, yeah.
yeah, and that was the only vegetable I actually had on the entire trip. It was asparagus. That was it. That was the only vegetable.
Yeah, I feel it. Well, you also had mixed vegetables at Friendsgiving dinner.
Oh, that's true. Okay, yeah. So
We had the steamed vegetables there, which was good. Um, so then after the Crispin Inn, we checked out the wharf, and we took the bus back. And the bus ride back was interesting. We got to observe some of the student life out there for the secondary school, as they call it, which is high
yeah,
school here.
not that different from us actually. Some of the conversations are exactly the same.
Some of the conversations brought us back to high school, which is funny because the people we were traveling with, our friends, Chris and Austin, are motherfuckers we knew in high school. So,
Yeah.
very much, yeah, trip down memory lane almost. So we did that, and then we went to this place called the Parrot, and the Parrot was cool. The
Unfortunately,
food was
no
good.
parrots there, but
No parrots. Where I wanted to see where the parrot was. Like, where's the parrot they have in there? But whatever.
walking to the parrot, it's like, what can I do you for? It's like you slam on the table. I want to see the parrot.
Let me see the parrot. So then what happened next? Thursday. That was Wednesday. We went to Sandwich. Thursday was tour of the Canterbury Cathedral. This was also Thanksgiving Day, so we'll get to that later. So the cathedral. For those who don't know, it's a very famous cathedral that's been around for like since like 1000 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's something crazy old. Maybe even older.
Roughly, it's
also
been around for like 1,000 years. So yeah.
yeah, give or take. And so there's a very famous bishop there who died, an archbishop, who was murdered there actually because of a
Thomas
whole
Becket, yeah.
Thomas Becket. He had a thing. It was Henry II. He was having trouble with because they were boys at first, when it was Prince Henry. And and then when he was crowned, he was like, "All right, I want you as my archbishop." And Becket at that point was like an accountant, and he was like, "Nah, man, I don't really want to do it." And like Henry II was like, "Come on, man, like, just do it." And then he did it. And then Henry II was like, "Hey, could you like be cool about some stuff?" And then he was like, "No, we're gonna take my job seriously as archbishop." Oh well, fuck you too. And then um, it was like that's the TLDR version, and uh, and so Beckett goes into like exile, but like is hearing news about what's going on, what Henry II's doing. He's like doing some shit, expediting some shit with the church that isn't like really like it isn't
Kosher.
this.
Yeah.
It's not okay, man. Yeah, it's not kosher, and so um, Beckett comes back, and then like Henry II's like, well, no one rid me of this priest, and then he's like he tells his knights like, hey, go get him, go take care of it, and like they took the Tony Soprano way and they took care of it.
Yeah,
Uh,
they did, yeah. They killed him in
and
that very cathedral.
there
Yeah.
was a scuffle, and they apparently smacked his head so hard when they like killed him that like they broke the sword.
Yeah, they one of the knights drew his sword and swung it at Thomas Becket and cut the top of his head clean off, and with such force too that he broke the sword in half.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you could say that Beckett was really hard headed. Uh,
God
and
damn
so
it. Oh no, that's probably a terrible thing to say. Shit.
maybe.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's like too soon. It's been like fucking 900 years, dude. Like get the
No, but
fuck
I
over.
said God damn it at the fact that a
Oh,
priest was murdered.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
850 years ago, I think, if I did the math right.
Yeah.
No,
No, I think you might be right.
900. That makes it 850. I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he died at 1173.
Yeah.
So yeah, 850. I think is right. That's good. Um, and so December 29th, 1173 is when he was murdered, and so yeah, we spent an hour and a half doing a tour of that, which was super cool. Then they showed us the archives, which was dope.
It was pretty
So
dope.
they keep a lot of old shit, and like they've got a whole room with old books. They've got like an original print of like 1613 like copy of Shakespeare, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Uh,
They got like Bibles from like, various years throughout history. Like the first one that caught my eye was this big fuck Bible that was like this thick and like this tall.
it was very tall.
Yeah, and it was from 1635. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they preserved the stuff.
If I was enjoying Pauline or Salvatore while reading that Bible, I could basically pretend I'm back in like 1635.
Precisely, yeah. It was
Yeah.
super cool. And what's it? So that was cool. And the rest of the day, what did we do after the cathedral? We went to the Roman Museum, which was cool. And then we went to lunch at the sushi place, which that was chill. And then
Yeah. Took a while to get our food, but that's,
well,
the whole other story.
the mix up was like they thought we were just we had a group of seven, and we'd gotten this little booth that's like you have to kind of like climb into it, and we had two people who weren't really wanting to do that, so they sat off to the side. So they thought, so we didn't we ordered the drinks first. We assumed like they'll come back and ask us for food later, but no, we'll order it all together in the future because like we just ordered drinks, and so they thought we were just there to drink instead of eat. And so that was kind of the mix up. So that's why it took so long to get food, but it worked out because I had
Yeah.
some really good katsu curry, and we had some great sushi, and you had some ramen.
I had some ramen and some sushi because we all had sushi to share.
Yeah, it was a sushi platter. Yeah, it was for the
Yeah.
table.
Oh, the ramen was
And
delicious. Like, damn. Like, that was really good ramen.
we had some really good sake. I like the yuzu sake a lot. That was really cool.
The
Very
yuzu was
citrus.
so good.
Um, and some asahis. And so, um, let's see, what what else did we do that day? Oh, and then we had to go to the butcher shop and get. They don't do turkey out there, so we got like steaks instead, which I think was a cool alternative. We cooked those up, and we did some like potatoes with it and some steamed vegetables, and you cracked open some meat you bought from the borough market,
I
which
did,
was like
yeah.
pretty good. I wasn't expecting. I've had I've had a raspberry meat is the only kind of meat I've had, so like I wasn't expecting like the honey flavor, and but it was good. It was I like
Yeah.
so going on the entrance was weird, but then like the aftertaste was really good because it was honey. So I was like, okay, this is like sweet.
Yeah.
Um, and so then Friday was kind of just we spent pretty much we went to tour the campus, which was like sick, and then we had
Yeah,
the
because we were
graduation.
over in England for our friend's graduation, so he showed us the campus where he studied at to actually, graduate.
That's right. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
here's context. So we toured his campus. He graduated with his master's from the University of Kent. Everybody say dubbed for Chris.
Exactly.
Um, and so then we kind of just got back to the Airbnb and we spent time trying to pretty much we're just trying to buy time to get ready for graduation. We did stop for food somewhere in Canterbury, which that spot was okay.
Yeah, they
It was
had
okay.
pretty decent fried chicken, but I don't know. Like, it was a little overcooked for my taste.
It looked really good, I will say. It
It
looked
was
really,
pretty good. So, yeah.
I'm told the burgers were mid, but so I'm glad I didn't get a burger. But um
Yeah.
but yeah, so then we got all dolled up in our suits.
Indeed. We should have took
We
pictures. We didn't take pictures, but we should have took pictures.
we went and got pizza. We
Yeah.
checked out the graduation, and that was that. And then we flew out the next day. And
Yeah.
um, yeah, the flying back was like we had to be up at like five. No, we had to be out the door by 5:40 their time, which is like 8 7 no, which is 9:40 our time p.m. Friday night. And so that was tiresome. And then we had to rush to get to our gate because we like got to the airport and we had only had like an hour before they were like boarding. So it was like holy shit. So we got to first like get through security, and then your bag was overweight. So it was like oh god, and we tried to figure out
Yeah.
that.
It was fun. It was fun stuff.
A little stressful, but no. Overall, the trip was like great. It was a fun time. I really enjoyed it. I was glad to be out of in a country I'd never been in before. And once I figured out the currency, I was like, okay, sweet, I know what I'm doing, and it was really cool and easy to navigate. It was fun, man. It was a good time. It was chill. And so, we had a lot to drink that week, so I wanted to give myself a break, my liver a break, and power through that. And then, let's see, Saturday when I got back, I went out with some friends, and I met up with my girl after she got off work, and we spent that Sunday together. We shopped a little bit, we caught a movie with our parents, and then, excuse me. God, work just like I've only had like 4 hours of sleep today, or 5 hours of sleep. So like, excuse me.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was. I'll get to that in a bit. But um, so Sunday was chill. So Sunday we were hanging out, and then Monday, Monday we just stayed here. We hung out. I'd made dinner. Well, I was starting to cook dinner, and then she collaborated at the end of it. We finished it up, and we got to eat together. And then Tuesday was we were also doing dinner here. We did. Oh, it was French toast day. So like she wanted to do French toast, so we did that. I fried up some bacon. Um, this week, dude, we've been watching The Fall of the House of Usher. That show is crazy, dude.
Damn. Okay, because
It's
I
a
kept
really
seeing like
good.
suggestions for it on Netflix. And I'm like, okay, sounds interesting.
It's another Mike Flanagan joint, the same guy who did like Haunting of Hill House and
Oh shit.
Midnight Mass, and like I haven't finished
Okay.
Midnight Mass yet, but this show, dude, I haven't finished Fall of the House of Usher yet, but this show, dude, is like it's got some cool angles, some interesting storytelling. It's a lot of it's based off of Edgar Allan Poe, dude. So each episode's like named after one of his stories. It's like really sick,
Oh, that's so cool.
super fucking cool. Like I mean, just crazy. So and again, really interesting. So we've been watching that. So like then Wednesday was like Vinyl Night, and it was supposed to be the last one, but I guess it isn't. Because they're staying open, which is awesome. And that was fun. We had a good time. We hung out with some friends of ours. And then last night, yeah. So last night, the reason I'm yawning so much is, you know,
Well, 5 hours of sleep, but yeah.
yeah. So yesterday we were gonna go to a show, and then like our ride canceled, so we were like, oh, I guess we can't make it. So what we did instead was we went out to a local brewery. That's where I had my beer, and then we went out to the bar afterwards, and we were there for a bit. Then we went out to In-N-Out afterwards, and then we were leaving In-N-Out close to midnight, and then we decided to go hang out at the practice spot because that's where we met up to go drive up to the brewery slash bar.
Yeah.
And then I lost track of time at the spot, so we didn't leave there till like close to 1:30. I didn't get home till like 2.
Damn.
And then this morning I was like, I only have phone sessions, so I was like, do I want to go to the office? Do I want to stay home and just do it from here? And like, I decided to stay from here because then I slept in until like 7. Usually I'm up at 6:30. I try to be no later than that. But I woke up this time at 7:20, or got out of bed at 7:20 to try to catch some more Z's. And I got up, I got ready. I had to move my car because I parked in a spot where it was like, between 8 to 6, I think it's like you get an hour parking. And I was like, I parked there last night because there was nothing else available. And then this morning I was like, oh shit, it's almost 9. I'm like, I've almost been parked there for an hour technically. And I don't want to like get ticketed or towed or whatever. So
Yeah.
I moved that and just coasted through work today. And that's been a summation of our last 2 weeks, or at least, our last week in London, or our last week in the UK, and then my week this week. What's your week been like, man?
What has my week been like? Well, so we mentioned earlier about when I started work again. It was actually on Thursday, not on Wednesday. So I had actually a pretty good amount of time off, which I've been pretty much using to like fix D&D characters that I've been building, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's productive.
Yeah, pretty productive. Yeah. And then also just kind of like analyzing pretty much like all the films that I watched on the plane. And honestly, the one I think I liked the most that I watched was definitely About Time, for sure. I like that one a lot. The Place Beyond the Pines was good, but it definitely threw me for a loop with the switch to characters and storytelling.
It is stark and odd that way. It does do that, yeah.
But it does have like the similar quality of like Blue Ruin or Green Room, where it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it kind of has like a rural kind of like feel, you know what I mean, and just like very personal storytelling.
No, totally, yeah, it does. I mean, they're very much like in a very like rural town kind of vibe, yeah.
Exactly.
Small town kind of vibe-ish, yeah.
Exactly, and just the vibes it gives off is just like amazing. It's like something that I really, really dig. So.
Yeah, it's a good movie, man. Yeah.
Great Gatsby. I saw that finally, and I wasn't a fan. I'm not the biggest fan of Baz Luhrmann and his movies. I'm sorry.
His directorial style is just chaotic. It's very hyper, and I was watching you watch it. I'd like look over sometimes, and I'm like, this movie looks crazy. It's riddled with green screen. I'm like,
yeah, that was also what threw me for a loop.
That's how Baz does it. So
yeah. Which, honestly, I think, like, Moulin Rouge sounds like his best work, which I'm like, okay, I gotta see that then.
It is. I think it is. I've only seen that and Elvis. I liked Moulin Rouge more.
Yeah.
Elvis was good. I mean, like, I hated Tom Hanks. It's the first time I've hated Tom Hanks in a movie. Like, couldn't get past the shitty accent. And then
I know.
Couldn't take him seriously. And then like Austin Butler fell into the role and was like really good as Elvis, but it's also just a very chaotically directed movie. So I'd give Elvis like a 7. It's fun to watch though.
And that's how I feel with The Great Gatsby, because like obviously Leo crushes it because he's good in everything he fucking does. Okay, except relationships. Clearly he fails at that, but.
Well, he just doesn't like older than 25, but yeah.
Yeah, which I don't know why. Like the man, what do they talk about? Like he's so. I don't know.
Yeah, he's up there, man. It's definitely like a generation gap. They're like half his age, dude. Like.
Yeah, so it's like.
What are you gonna talk about?
Like, what the fuck do you actually talk about? Like, I never met like anyone who's under 25 that actually has something interesting to say. You know, to like someone who's like 40 or 50 plus. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and they also just don't usually take them seriously. But yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I know what you mean, man.
that's why I'm so glad to be like in the position where I'm at, where I kind of get what like Gen Zers are talking about in terms of like memes and like stuff that's going on. But like I don't know, if I was any older, I'd be so fucking disconnected.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
But
gap.
anyways, yeah, like that's how I feel with The Great Gatsby because like Leo crushes it in everything he does. And then Joel Edgerton, who's a very underrated actor. He's been in a lot of movies, and this was probably his best fucking performance I've ever seen in anything. But it's almost drowned out by a chaotic editing style that makes me feel like I'm on cocaine like half the time.
That's real, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Very
like
fast paced, yeah.
yeah, it's crazy, but no, performances are excellent. It's just the editing is just interesting. So
Yep.
otherwise, it would have been a
Um,
great film. But yeah,
I kind of want to check it out. It kind of made me want to just view it, see what it's about.
yeah. I mean, it does nail most of like what the book says because it's a big book. So the fact that they managed to condense it into like a just over 2 hour movie is like pretty impressive.
Totally, yeah.
And it hits all the basic beats that like all the money in the world like really can't like make you happy. That's the thing.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah,
And I
which
mean, it looked like it was accurate to the story. I mean, all the people who died and stuff. Yeah.
yeah. Uh, then what was it? I saw Avatar 2: The Way of Water.
Hmm.
And honestly, I have mixed feelings about it.
Okay.
It's a good movie. It's beautifully shot. The CGI is not that dodgy. It actually feels like pretty smooth. Uh, but it just feels like an ode to like protect our oceans, people. Please. Much like how the first one was like protect the forest and be respectful towards nature and whatnot.
Totally, yeah.
But story wise, it felt like Avatar 2 Way of Water was really going nowhere. It kind of felt like watching John Wick 3, you know what I mean? Just a
Okay.
lot happens, but like it doesn't really feel like it progresses at all in terms of
That
like
is kind of John Wick 3 is the weakest of the three. Now that you mention it.
yeah.
Uh. Yeah. It's like,
It's just because a lot happens in that movie, but it doesn't really
but
feel like
then
it. There's like an end game. That's the thing. Like at least in the other John Wick films, like there's a goal. There's a set goal, and the goal is met. Like that's the thing. Like even in John Wick Chapter 4, like it feels like a perfect conclusion to like everything that's happened. Like even though it
yeah.
feels so fucking extra in some of the fight scenes, like it's actually pretty crazy.
No, totally. Yeah. It is. It is.
Yeah.
Well, no. John Wick 3 has my least favorite action scene of that movie. We're veering a little bit on a tangent here, but like it has this moment where it's like it's him and Halle Berry and the dog, right? They're all fighting, so it's like John shoots a couple of bad guys, Halle Berry does some stuff, and the dog bites somebody. And then in the next room, he does it's the same shit. He shoots a couple guys, she does something, and then the dog bites somebody. And it's like it feels uncreative in that scene. It's like
Yeah.
I was just kind of bored. Like the thing about John Wick scenes is I love how creative they are. Like John Wick 4, that top angle that was crazy. That was like some Hotline Miami shit. That was super cool.
I know, dude. That's why I love John Wick Chapter 2 because I think it hits the perfect notes of like evolving on a sleeper hit that no one expected to like take off as well as it did and really expand on it, but to the point where it doesn't reach total ridiculousness because by
Yeah,
chapter 4 it almost feels like, okay, is everyone like part of the assassin Illuminati? What is going on?
totally. Yeah, it's like, bruh.
Yeah, but no, chapter 2 was perfect because it had the right amount of fight scenes. It actually had an antagonist that was on par with John Wick's skill set, so it actually felt like there was stakes, like this man actually could get fucking killed.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because it felt like tearing through like level like 2 bad guys in a video game when you're like level 50. So it's like, what's the point?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
but yeah, Avatar 2, Way of Water. It's a good, entertaining film. It just feels like it doesn't really go anywhere special. That's the thing. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that probably may. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, so that would be fair to fair analysis to make. Excuse me.
No, you're good. You're good. But yeah, no, I loved About Time though. That was a great movie. That's probably one of my
About
favorite rom coms of all time.
it is. It is so heartwarming. It is like really funny. It's like that awkward funny that like Domhnall Gleeson or yeah, Domhnall Gleeson.
Domhnall Gleeson, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I always get it mixed up with Brendan, so I want to make
Yeah.
sure that.
Brendan is the father, Domhnall is the son.
Yep. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
And
So
Ireland is the Holy Spirit.
it is indeed. Um, he does these moves that are like so funnily bad, and like he's really good at playing this like dorky guy. But then there's like these really sweet and like romantic moments, and like these really heartfelt moments, and then like the way they use the time travel to tell it is like it's amazing. I love the whole sequence where he's like trying to like line everything up to like be with that girl again, because he's like, that's, Rachel McAdams. He's like, that's the woman I love. Like I want to be with her, and like I like the rules they do, and then it's always the last scene with the dad with Bill Nighy that like always fucking gets me, where they're like on the beach and stuff, and I'm like, bro,
Yeah,
I just want
yeah.
to cry, dude.
Yeah, no, no, not to spoil anything for viewers, but like when you're dealing with time travel, once you have the story like go long enough, it certainly has some unfortunate things happen to characters, and they try and use the time travel to like capture as many moments as they can left with this character before they, eventually pass.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just really fun, and it's and the chemistry that Dom Hill Gleason and Rachel McAdams have is like so believable. It's so good.
It's flawless. It's surprising. Like that's amazing.
They're really well written, but
It's like with the last movie that I saw on the plane, which was What Lies Beneath, starring Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford.
oh yeah,
Dude,
that movie looked crazy, dude.
that movie is not only an ode to classic Hitchcock films, but it's just so well done. Oh my fucking god.
That's great, dude.
Dude, you know who
I didn't
fucking
watch
wrote
it.
the screenplay for that movie? Agent Coulson from Marvel.
That actor?
That actor, he wrote the screenplay for the movie. Apparently, he was a writer before he was an actor.
Yeah, that's wow.
Yeah,
That's impressive for him,
dude,
dude.
and the fact that like one of his works is this is amazing. That's so cool.
That's dope. I need to check it out for sure.
Yeah,
It looked crazy.
yeah,
I watched Past Lives on the Plane was the movie I watched, and that it wasn't a great format, but it was really, oh my god, it was a really wonderful film. So it's about it's about this idea of like closure and this big focus on like what ifs, but like this understanding, this acceptance of like they're both at different parts of their lives, and they like, and it's really well written and well done, and it's this sort of back and forth, and will they, won't they, and yeah, and it's there was something that was said on Twitter, and I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't remember exactly what it was, but I agree with the sentiment and the point. Is the last frame really allows the main character and the audience to feel that weight lifted and that relief or that realization finally, that settling in of like of that this is where it is and this is where it will be, and that was people come into your life at certain points when they need to, and then they can leave as easily too. It's very akin to the ending of La La Land, and it was, yeah, that last scene made me want to cry. I was like, shit. But it was
yeah.
really good. It was. I highly recommend Past Lives. It's a great watch. It's only like an hour and 40 minutes. It's like pretty
Wow.
short movie, and it does a really good job of squeezing that story into it in that time frame. But
It's pretty
yeah, it's
impressive because usually something with like that kind of like grandiose themes usually has to be like longer than a standard like film, which
and
is usually hour 30. But
and
yeah,
it's spanning over 20 years of life story. So it's like,
dude,
yeah.
that's insane. Actually, what the
But it
fuck?
does it really well. So it's like, and the main actress is like really good, and so is like, I think the main three people in it are very good. Yeah,
Wow,
it was
wow,
great.
man, and that's the thing I love too. Like melancholy films like that where it deals with something that like everyone can relate to, like the whole what
Yeah,
ifs and like should I have done that, should I have done things differently, like because you all only have like one life to live, so you can't truly like live it with regret. You have to try and find a way to like acknowledge that maybe things could have gone differently, but embrace what the future might hold and actually try to properly shape it the way you want it to.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And it's yeah, that's yeah. It's and it's it is the movie talks a lot about like I don't want to give too much away is the thing, but like it talks about like this idea of like what you want now versus what you wanted then, and the kind of person you grow into and stuff, and the person you leave behind almost, right? And like
Yeah.
it's very cool, and the way they talk about it's this idea in Korean culture called in Inyen, I think, if I remember correctly. It's about like having past lives, and so like people who come together, they've like met in a past life before, and like it's this interconnected sort of cycle thing. Um, but they really use it to their advantage to help kind of tell the scope of the story. But it was wonderful. It was a great
Yeah.
movie. Um, I am disappointed that I missed it in theaters. That would have been a great experience, and I mean, I would love to support cinema that way. Um, Good cinema. We watched Wish, and Wish is it's been getting mixed feelings online. And so here's my thing: is like I think it's a fun, cute, entertaining movie. I don't know what the point is, and I haven't quite figured it out. And then I think like the other thing is like the animation takes a little bit of getting used to. It's this weird sort of 2D slash 3D kind of animation.
I,
Um,
it honestly gave me like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse vibes in terms of like the frame rate going by, as well as some of the similar like animation style. But I think in Disney's excuse, they were trying to blend like the modern technology of doing animated films along with a kind of ode to like hand drawn animation, the way it
to their
looks like pencil
traditional,
lines and
their
whatnot.
their traditional cartooning. Yeah, and like I mean, I think
Yeah.
I think you've got a point. I think like every movie, like a lot of animation studios want to like follow Spider Verse's example. Like DreamWorks had like Puss in Boots of the Last Wish, which had similar animation style and like to Spider Verse, and it was very cool. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
very cool. But
But with,
um,
with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, it had a purpose to it. It not only introduced a whole new style that really broke the mold from like traditional animation that was set in stone by Pixar and DreamWorks in terms of
uh,
like it pretty much like the bar on like what animation should be at that point. Spider Verse like changed the game as well as like they use it as a means to tell the story because you notice the frame rate is choppy until Miles actually learns to become Spider Man and get better at using his powers. Then you notice subtly the frame rate actually smooths itself out. You're following along with him on his journey and actually learning this is what it means to be a hero. This is how to actually
oh.
properly use what have been given.
I didn't think about that. And yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and you're right. I think like it did set a new tone and standard for animated movies. And Mitchell's and the Machines does the same thing on Netflix. That's another good movie and
Yeah.
a crazy animation style. But yeah, it's so Wish is like the other thing that I had kind of a problem with, and it was kind of like when my girlfriend pointed it out is like it's like it the songs. It's a musical, right? So it's got musical numbers, and like a lot of the songs are good. Some of them just don't fit. They don't, and the reason they don't fit is like in traditional musicals, a song is supposed to move the story along. It's supposed to progress the story in some way. Some of these songs feel like filler, but I think that was some creative decision that was challenging because it was like the songs were written before the story was even done. But there were some cool numbers, like Chris Pine's like number. I don't remember what the song was called. It was like "This is the thanks I get." Like it was super cool and like dope, and that was moving the story along because you got more perspective of the king, who ends up being this like egomaniac in the movie. Spoiler, but
I
you
mean,
know
when you're
it's
both like a magic user and also the king of a kingdom, I mean, if there's not a power trip, I don't know.
yeah, that's true. And it's
Yeah.
so it's I would say with Wish, it's a movie you could wait to see on Disney Plus.
Yeah, which is kind of unfortunate because it just feels like that's a lot of what Disney's doing, not just with like their classic like kind of films, but also like just with Marvel and like Star Wars too. Like it kind of feels like stuff you can catch on like Disney Plus. Really, like it just doesn't feel like not much passion or original to it.
Totally, yeah,
Yeah, which is
totally.
a shame. Well, with that, I think it's been long enough. We should clock
I
out.
think I think this is a good place to end. Let's clock out a little early today. This has been the 9 to 5 boys. Thank you for joining us. And we'll be back next week.
Yeah. 9 to 5 boys out. Klachink.